What is going on, everybody? This is Mike from The Last Corvette. So today's video is about the golf cart, the Ezgo golf cart that I bought almost a year ago from a auction house. Basically just looking at the pictures and knowing nothing about, well, the condition, overall condition, you know, as far as the batteries, brakes, electric motor, stuff like that. So when I brought it home, and that's when I really started making the videos, because as I did a little bit of research on these electric golf carts and noticed that some people were doing these conversions, and when I say conversions, converting, let's say, from 6 6-volt batteries to 3 12-volt batteries like I did initially, you know, it's one of those things where there's lots of videos, but everyone kind of leaves out the main important facts, like I stated in my previous videos, like life expectancy, what is the range on 3 batteries, you know, how do you wire them properly, stuff like that, right? And that's what I try to kind of lock in and focus in and make videos about that, right? So I showed you guys how to wire batteries, what a parallel wiring means versus wiring something in series, and that's how you achieve 36 volts. So you got 12 plus 12 plus 12, versus in parallel you can wire in 3 4 5 6 batteries and you're going to still achieve 12 volts. You're just going to have more capacity. Then I went through we'll say a voltage meter or a capacity meter. That's also in the video. I bought a 36 volt specific, so a fully charged 36 volt golf cart will basically show about 38 volts, 38 and a half volts or whatever. And when you start getting down to 36, 35 and a half, you should probably consider about charging those batteries. So covered upholstery, covered some of the lights that I upgraded, a simple sound system. But the next step now is something that we had we'll say a pretty in-depth conversation with one of my coworkers, and that was, how do you make golf carts go faster? And we'll focus in obviously on electric golf carts, but certain things can apply to gas as well. It's just like anything else out there. You can spend a lot of money on these electric golf carts, just like any other toy, summer or winter toy. And for me, I have to stay within a budget, because I have a budget golf cart. I have an older golf cart, and for me to dump in $4,000 or $5,000 on new motor, new controller, chargers, lithium batteries, just doesn't make any sense, because I can sell mine for, let's say, $3,000 and just add whatever I have and buy a fully built badass golf cart. Or I can just take $5,000 and just buy one that's already built. It's always easier to buy something that's already built and cheaper at the same time than doing it and buying the parts from scratch. So let me explain we'll say the steps to do it on a budget, and that's what I'm looking for. Well, that's what I'm going to do anyway. First thing is the easiest way to make your golf cart run faster as far as the top end speed is a taller tire. Don't go with 10s. Most of these stock, like mine, tires are 8s. So if you go with 10, you're wasting your money. Go at least something like a 12 or a 14-inch setup. Now, you will also see on the forums and videos that people will pinpoint and say, well, certain golf carts you can put 12s and 14s on with no issues. That's completely untrue. You will need a lift. I have a friend that has a very similar Ezgo golf cart. His is gas, but regardless of that, 12s do fit, but you can't really turn, number one, so your radius becomes huge. And of course, the rear tires is where the problem is, because as soon as you put weight on the back of the golf cart, regardless of what it is, utility or a jump seat, you will be rubbing the top of the tire on your golf cart shell. So you need a lift, and lifts are pretty inexpensive. 80 to $100. You can get a decent lift. Once again, these golf carts are not, on the street. They're not, performance golf carts. Same thing goes for tires and wheels. I mean, yes, you can spend thousands of dollars like anything else, but my game plan is to find something on a local marketplace. Facebook or Craigslist during the off season and buy something for 300 bucks, like a 12 or a 14-inch tire. I would prefer to go with a 12, honestly, and we'll have some decent street tires. I don't need nubby tires. I don't have a need for that. So that's first step, and your average gain is usually 2 to 3 miles an hour. That's what you will see with a stock motor, stock batteries, stock controller, all that stuff. So most golf carts will run right around 14 miles per hour, 14, 15 miles per hour in stock form on 8-inch tires. And that's exactly where I'm at. I mean, sometimes I get up to 15, 16 if I'm, driving downhill and there's, a gust of wind or something that catches me. But at the end of the day, your 14 is kind of your average speed. Sure, they made some golf carts, newer golf carts that, could go 18, 19 out of the box, but that's only a few models. So you start out and you go from 14, let's say, to 16, 17 miles an hour, something like that. The next step is to upgrade your motor, and I'm doing it on the budget as well. So there's a company called Quick. They specialize in electric golf carts, in motors, controllers, chargers, and they have various levels of motors you can put into your golf cart, controllers, batteries, right? Thousands upon thousands of dollars. And one thing to note, what I said earlier in the video, is you can go out and put a big boy motor in, but now this little conversion that I did and some other people do, where you take out 6 6-volt batteries or 4 12-volt batteries, you have a 48-volt golf cart, you convert over to a deep cycle non-golf cart battery with basically less capacity. That's not going to work. So you're going to have to switch to either 6 6-volt batteries, good golf cart batteries, or good 12-volt golf cart batteries in a 48-volt setup. Now, before I move forward, you have to understand something too. 36 versus 48, your top speed doesn't change. You get more torque, just so you guys know. 48-volt golf carts are great for, if you have, let's say, dirt roads, hills, golf cart, like on a golf course. That stuff will definitely make a big difference when it comes to torque and getting out of those tight, we'll say, spaces or climbing up those hills. Lithium batteries is what everybody upgrades to, and you have to understand that even if you buy 3 lithium batteries, which is good, let's say for a 36-volt setup, you will be spending close to $3,000 just on batteries alone. And then on top of it, now your charger is out of the question, because you can't use your smart charger, you can't use your stock charger. You will be using a lithium specific battery charger if you go lithium. But that's what you have to do, and that's basically what you pay if you want to be with the big boys, right? In the big leagues, as they call it. So for me, what I'm doing is I'll upgrade the tires. I will remove my stock motor, and for under $600, once I ship it out to Quick, they will basically soup up my motor. In other sense, what they'll do is they'll make my motor a high output electric motor, which also goes anywhere from 2 to 4 miles per hour, right? They always give you the low and the high or whatever, and you can get more, but they're playing it safe. But with that upgrade, you're not upgrading your batteries, you're not upgrading your controllers or anything like that. You're not adding. It's just the motor and the tire, and with those two you could be looking at 18, 19, even 20 miles per hour. But most importantly, you can still utilize your stock charger, number one, and number two, you will not need to buy or upgrade batteries, and you will still get 19 to 20 miles per hour, which is great in my book.